So hello guys, today we are going to do a late code question that goes by the name bag of tokens. Bag of tokens. The question number is 948. Okay, and it is a medium level question. Medium level question. It is a medium level question. Okay. So let us first start by reading the problem statement. What does the problem statement says? We'll directly jump onto the problem statement. Okay, and then we'll go to the solution eventually. Okay. So I'll try to explain you the intuition behind the question, okay? How I got into the solution, what was my thinking process, okay, and all about it. So let's start. Okay, so I'll first read the problem statement. You start with an initial power of power. Okay, you start with an initial power of power, an initial score of 0. Okay, so you are given some variables. Let us write down the variables what we are given. We are given some power. Okay, we are given some score that is initialized to 0. Okay, this is what we are given till now. And a bag of tokens gives us an integer array tokens where tokens of I donates the value of token I. Okay, and we are given tokens array, and we are given tokens array. Okay, so where each tokens I donates the value of token of I. Basically, each element denotes some value. Okay, denotes some value. Some value. It's an integer array. Okay, integer array. It will store all the integers. So this is what I am given. I am given three components. Basically, power, score, and tokens. Okay. What I am passed as parameters, I am just passed with tokens and power. Okay. Let us see what we have to do. Okay. Your goal is to maximize the total score by strategically playing these tokens. Let us read it again. Okay. Your goal is to maximize the total score. What if we have to maximize? Let us write what we have to maximize. I have to maximize this. This I have to maximize. How I have to maximize? Now I know what I have to maximize. Okay. But how? But how? Let us read the problem statement to get the full clarity on how to just maximize this. Okay. In other move, okay, by playing these tokens. But how can we play? In one move, you can play an unplayed token in one of the two ways. Okay. If I read it again, in one move, you can play an unplayed token in one of the two ways. What does it mean by unplayed token? Basically, if there are five numbers in the array and we have to play it, okay, I don't know what is the definition of playing. Okay, let us assume that it is doing something, this function is doing something. Okay, so on every element this play operation can be performed only once. Okay, only once. If a play operation is performed previously on this number, then it cannot be performed again. It cannot be performed again. Okay. And what now I will know what does my play operation tell? What does my play operation tell? Okay, my play operation tells that face up. You are given this, like, it is just to confuse you. Okay, basically it is written that you are given with two moves, face up and face down. Okay, if your current power is at least tokens of I, you may play token of I, losing tokens of I power and gaining one score. Such an abstract statement, right? Such an abstract statement, like, easy enough to confuse anyone. Okay, so if your current power is at least tokens of I, you may play token of I, losing tokens of I power and gaining one score. Okay, okay. So I am given that basically, suppose this is my array 1 2 3 4 5 and I am given with some power, right? So at the current instance, if my power is 3, okay, and I am at my first element, okay, I am at my first element, my first element is 1. It is given that if my element, basically if my tokens of I is less than equal to power, then what I have to do? I have to basically reduce this power. By tokens of I, okay, and I have to increase my score in this operation only. So my powers will be reduced by tokens of I. Basically, 3 would be reduced by 1. If I was on this iteration, 3 would be reduced by 2. Okay, it depends upon on which number you are, on which number you are playing with. Okay, so this denotes my one operation. This is my first operation what I have to do. Okay, this is my first play. I am denoting it as face up. Now they are denoting face up. Okay, so this is my first move what I can do. What is my second operation that I can do? What is my second operation that I can do? Okay, basically my second operation, they are saying that if your current score is at least 1, you may play token of I, gaining tokens of I power and losing 1 score. Okay, face down means, okay, like the question is written such that it is so abstract. Okay, that's why I'm taking so much time for you to read and understand the problem, how to understand the problem, how to break the problem statement into parts. Okay, so you know how to read a problem statement, because if you don't know how to read a problem statement, you cannot do the solution. Even if you have done DSF very much, but you don't know how to read a problem statement, it's total waste. Because if you don't understand what is the problem, you cannot solve it. Okay, you cannot solve it. So what is my face down? If your current score is at least 1, you may play token of I, gaining tokens of I power and losing 1 score. Okay. So what is my second operation? What is my second operation says? Basically, what you have to do is, you can pick up any token, pick up any token, and what you can do is, you can add it to your power. Add it to your power. Okay. Add it to your power. But if you are increasing your power, basically if you are increasing your power, think of it as your, as the lives, like if you play a game, you will get 3 or 4 lives. Okay, so if you want your power to be full, if you want your power to be full, you have to give a score. Okay, you have to give 1 life. Okay, you have to give 1 life. So this code considers as a life. Okay, life. Okay, if you have 3 lives, if you have 3 lives, okay, like consider it like this. Okay, if you like collect something, if you like lose health. Okay, lose health, because basically you are fighting in this case, and during fighting you get injured, you lose health. Okay, but your score increases because you like defeat the opponent. Okay, you kick the opponent, punch the opponent. Okay, so my score would be increased. But in this case, if I have to increase my health, if I have to increase my health, if I want to increase my power, I have to give up 1 life. Okay, okay, so these are the 2 operations I can perform. Basically this is the first operation. If I clear all the stuff to show you what I can do, okay, these are the 2 things that I can do. These are the 2 things that I can do. These are the 2 operations. Basically what 2 operations I am given with? What 2 operations I am given with? First is, you can decrease the token, decrease the power with the token of I, decrease the power with the token of I, but this can only be done if the token of I is less than or equal to power. Less than equal to power, because the power cannot go to negative. Okay, your health cannot be negative in the game, right? Health cannot be negative, but this leads to increase of your score. Okay, what is the second operation? What is the second operation? You can gain power, you can gain power, but at the cost of your score, at the cost of your score. Okay, so okay, so these are the 2 operations that you can perform. Okay, if I so you have to give the minimum moves, you have to give the minimum moves out of this, such that you can maximize the score, okay. You will say that, bhaiya, just increase it, है ना, every time just increase it again, increase it, but at one time your power will be 0. Okay, at one time your power will be 0. So if your power is 0, power is equal to 0. Okay, then power is equal to 0, then I will have to do this operation. I will have to do this operation. I have to get, like, I have to leave this score. I have to leave one of the score, okay, to get some power. So as to increase my score again, score again. Okay, maybe that this some token has some higher value, and I am able to gain more than I lost. I'll just explain you by taking an example. Okay, suppose you're given with the elements 100, 200, 300, 400. 100, 200, 300, and then 400. Okay, and you are initially given with the power of 0. power of 200, sorry, power of 200, and you are given with score 0, score equal to 0. Okay, so okay, you are given with power 200. You can perform only two operations. Either you can lose your power, okay, by some token of I value, and increase the score, okay, or you can increase your power and lose some score, okay. So these are the two operations I can do. So if I come into play, okay, if this is my first operation, I have some power. So what I can do is I can reduce this power and increase my score, basically because my last motive is to increase the score only, right? To increase the score, to get the maximum value of the score. So my priority would be, if I have some power, and if I have some token of I, that can be subtracted from it, so the power can be reduced and the score could be increased, because these tokens of I are the only values you can reduce your power with. Okay, so 200, if I try to see, this 100 is present, this 200 is present. Okay, so both of these, any one of these can be used, okay, to reduce this power. Basically, if I choose 100, my score becomes something like 200 minus 100 is equal to 100. Okay, if I choose 200, and my score becomes 1. So as you can see, my score has increased. If I choose 200, 200 minus 200, okay, becomes 0. Okay, my power becomes 0, but my score becomes 1. Okay, but there are still elements left. There will be still elements left. Okay, so will I stop here? Okay, also I have to take your condition. I have to introduce you to a condition. Basically, like in this case, suppose you are given with something like this: 50, 50, 100, 200, 300, and then 400. Okay, and you are given with some power 200. Okay, you are given with some power 200. You know that every time on every token you lose your power, you increase your score. Okay, so every time you lose your power, basically losing power is like just kicking the opponent. Okay, kicking the opponent in the game. So every time you kick an opponent, you gain your score. Okay, okay, so the maximum number of times you kick your opponent, okay, so the score would increase that much only. Okay, makes sense, right? Makes sense. So if I just see, my power is 200, my power is currently 200. Okay, and if I try to see, in the tokens of I array, okay, what are the number of ways I can reduce my power? Basically, if I try to see, my power is currently 200. Okay, I'll take the cases. I'll make cases. Okay, Basically, I have the power as 200. Okay, what I can do is I can first choose this number 200. Okay, I can basically choose this. Remember, for every operation that you do, every power, like every element that is reduced from the power, okay, you gain a score. Every time you kick the opponent, you gain a score. Just remember it like that. Like, understand it like that. Okay, so this is like kicking an opponent. Picking up an element is like kicking the opponent. Okay, okay. So if I try to, if I say that 200 is the one, because like 200 minus 200 can give me directly 0. Okay, so I can choose this. My score would be 1 in this case, because now my power is 0. Okay, and I have used this element. As I have used this element, I had told you that you cannot use the element again. Cannot use that element again. So I'll just cross it. Okay, I'll just cross it. Okay, so this can be one way of making this power to the minimum. Like, it can be made 0, or it can be made close to 0. Okay, close to 0. Suppose, okay, this can be the one way. What can be the second way? Okay, suppose if I choose, suppose there is one more 100. Okay, there is one more 100 in this place. Basically, one more 100 is there, and then the 200 is there. So you had to choose this way Okay, now I'll try to choose 100, both the hundreds. Okay, so my power would become 200 minus 100, that is 100. Okay, so for this my score would become 1. Okay, and I'll again reduce my power, so my power becomes 0 and my s would go to 2. Okay, s would go to 2. Okay, okay, seems nice, seems nice. Okay, in this case my power is 2, that is greater than the previous thing, greater than the previous thing, because okay, because I am reducing it again and again. I am reducing it again and again. Okay, basically if I increase the number of operations to get it to 0, okay, one is to empty a bag of rice at one go. Okay, and one is like picking up one element, picking up one rice. Okay, picking up one rice. Okay, and then pushing it. Okay, pushing it. Suppose take it that this is, take it like this, take it like this. Okay, take it like this. Suppose if your boss tells you to do something, okay, for the given day, okay. So if you try, if you like, if you take this mentality, like if you try to do it, if you just have your have all of your will, okay, and just subtract it at just one go, okay, at in one go, so my power would be reduced in one go. My power would reduce to 0 in one go. Okay, basically I have put all my effort into us, and I've submitted the assignment in 2 hours. Okay, what my boss would think is, so the assignment would be easy, right? That's why he submitted it that early. Okay, but if I try to just like do some of it now, do some of it now, do 10% of it now, do then 20%, then 30% on the different times of the day, and give updates at every time, give updates at every time. So my manager would think like he's doing a lot of work. He's doing a lot of work. Okay, so what would increase? My reputation would increase. Would reputation my increase? Okay, I am doing the same work. I am doing the same work. Okay, my workload is 200 only. But see, if I do it in chunks, okay, if I do it in chunks, I can easily gain reputation. Okay, don't do this, but yes, okay, I can easily gain reputation. So, so this is the same concept. Like, if you have 200 and you have to subtract such that each operation, like if you like each operation can give me a score. Each operation can give me a score. Okay, so what is the maximum score that I can get from 200? Suppose I subtract 1 each time, 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. So I can basically subtract 200 once from 200. Okay, so my score can go up to 200. Understand, right? Because I can just show 1% of my project, then 1%, then 1%, then 1%, then 1%, then 1%, then 1%. Okay, and I can go on like this. I can go on like this. And each of these would increase my reputation. Okay, each of these would increase my reputation. Okay, it is as simple as it looks. As simple as it looks. Okay, so 200 can give me different results. Can give me different results. So if I take my test case 50, 50, 100, 200, basically 100 again, 200, 300, and then 500. What is my power? What is my power? My power is basically 200. Okay, my power is 200. How can I reduce it such that my efforts look the maximum? Yes, I can choose the minimum parts every time. I can choose the minimum parts, because if I choose the minimum parts every time from the array I choose the minimum parts. Okay, like 50 minus 50. So this 50 would give me a reputation. This 50 would give me a reputation, and then this 100 would also give me a reputation. Okay, so my reputation will be 3 in this case. Reputation will be 3 in this case. That is giving me the biggest answer. That is giving me the biggest answer. Okay, that is giving me the biggest answer. That is giving me the biggest answer. Okay, so what I have learned is, what I have just understood it, basically if I try to reduce it in the smallest amount, okay, if I try to reduce 200 by 1, I would take 200 ones to reduce it to 0. Okay, whereas if I reduce it by just to 200, okay, my boss would think like, go, okay, do some other work. No, no, okay, you don't have to do this. Okay, okay. So coming back to the question, coming back to the test case, 100, 200, 300, 400, 100, 200, 300, and then 400. Okay, what my power is? My power is 200. Okay, so how can I reduce this such that, suppose one more 100 is there. How can I reduce it such that my effort becomes the maximum? Effort looks as the maximum. I'm doing the same thing. Okay, I'm doing the same thing. But how can I make my effort look maximum? Yes, I can reduce the smallest parts from it, right? Smallest parts from it, right? Every time. But remember, I cannot show the same work again. Basically, if I had presented a report just 2 hours before, I cannot present it again, right? So if I have reduced this, I cannot use them again, even for the further projects. Okay, I cannot use them again. So my power would become 200 minus 100 minus 100. So it would become 0. My score would become 2. Okay, seems nice. I am now clear with the first operation. Right, I am now clear with the first operation. What was my first operation? To basically reduce the power and increase my score. This is my first operation. What was my second operation? I am clear with the first. I am absolutely clear with what I have to do with the first operation. Okay. So basically, there's a pointer at the first location. Take this list as sorted. If you just want to get the minimum elements, take this list as sorted. Okay, it is clear, right? You want to get the minimum elements, right? Because from the power, may the power be anything. Okay, may the power be anything, but you have to reduce the minimum elements. So you have to get it in a sorted order. Seems nice. Okay, I am clear with the first operation. What I have to do now. Coming to the second operation. How can I do this? How can I reduce this? Basically, what was my second operation? I can gain power by this tokens of I, by any tokens of I. Okay, by any tokens of I. Okay, but what this would cost? This would cost me my score. This would cost me my reputation. Okay, just remember. Basically, you are taking a lot of projects at the same time. Okay, you are taking up a lot of work at the same time. Okay, what your manager would think is, he'll just get a negative impression also. Like, he would get a positive impression, but he would get a negative impression also, that he doesn't know how to, that he will at first don't know how will he manage all of this. Okay, how he will manage all of this. Okay, so basically, if I come back to the same test case, taking this 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay, what my power was initially? My power was 200. I have learned how to reduce it. Okay, how to reduce it? So I have just deleted this. Okay, now I am with power 0 at this current time. I am with power 0 and my score is 2. So do I have to stop at this point? If I had only one operation to perform, I could have stopped. But I have the option of the second operation, right? I can increase my power again. Okay. So by how much number should I increase my power? Such that I can do the maximum. Score. I can achieve the maximum score. Okay. It is taking one of my score. It is taking one of my reputation. Okay. So what I'll do is, basically, if I just put something in front of you, like 100, if I put a 100 rupees note, 200 rupees, 500 rupees, then 2000 rupees note. Okay, what would you pick? I'll just give you one chance and I'll ask you what would you pick. Okay, obviously you would pick up the biggest, right? You would pick up the biggest, right? Biggest 2000 note, right? If you're picking this, bro, just cross the tab, okay? Okay, so just kidding, okay? Don't cross the tab. Okay, the like and doesn't cross, okay? So okay, so coming back to the question. So like I'll take 2000, okay? I'll take the 2000 notes. Why I'll take the 2000? Because from 2000 I can make the maximum spend. I can make the maximum spend. I can take the maximum things. I can take the maximum things, okay? I can purchase the maximum things. I can purchase the maximum thing because from this 2000 many things can be purchased, like 100 rupees things can also be purchased, 200 rupees things can also be purchased. If my limit is 500, it can go up to just 500, but if my limit is 2000, I can purchase anything I want. Anything I want. Basically, if I have 100, 200, 500, something like these options to purchase from, okay, so I can purchase all of these. I can purchase all of these. So I would be picking up the greatest element. I would be picking up the greatest element. Basically, coming back to the question, I was clear with my first approach. I was clear with my first operation. Okay, now with my second operation, what I'll have to do? With my second operation, what I have to do? If I am given like this, 100, 200, 300, 400, and then 500, okay? 500, okay? If I am given that my power is currently 0, my score is 2, take it, it is not the same test case, it is a different test case, I'm just trying to explain you, okay? So if I increase my power with this 500, if I increase my power with this 500, okay, basically take it to 600, take it to be 600, okay? If I increase my power by this, okay, my score would reduce by 1, but my power would now become 600. My power would now become 600. So when my score was 1, now I can again perform the first operation because now I have something to do. Okay, so I can reduce my power by this. By using the first operation. Okay, and reducing this means increasing my score. So my score would become 2. I'll just cross it because I cannot show the same project file again, right? I cannot show the same project file again, right? I'll come to this. Still, I have like reducing 200. I have reducing 100. I have 500 again. Okay, I'll again reduce it. My score would increase, and my power would decrease. Okay, so my power would now become 300, and my score would become 3. Okay, my score would become 3. Okay, but still I am left with 300. Still left with 300. Okay, so I can again purchase this. I can just make it. I can just make it 0. Power 0. I have to increase my score to 4. Okay, now my power is again 0. Okay, or basically I cannot purchase this because my power is less than my element. So I have to do the second operation. So will I perform the second operation? No. Why no? Because you don't have any other elements left, right? You have already gained the maximum sum. Why to do it again? Right? Why to do it again? Okay, so this gives me a maximum score of 4. So 4 is my answer for this case. Okay, I hope you are clear with the question. Okay, I hope you are clear. I'll just explain you with the test case that is given in the question. It is approximately same, not exactly same. Okay, 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay, I'll just try to dry run it. See, I am explaining it to you with utmost clarity. Okay, you shouldn't be left with any doubts after this. If you have any doubts, you just ping it in the comments, bro. I'm always open to questions. Okay, suppose my power is 200. I have 2 operations. Just remember, my score is currently 0. Okay, I have 2 operations. First is I can decrease my power, increase my score. Second is increase my power, decrease my score. Okay, these are the 2 operations. I'll use 2 pointers. Why I'll use 2 pointers? One pointer shows my first approach, and the second pointer shows my second operation. Okay, shows my second operation, because first pointer, like first operation, is aimed at getting the minimum number, and remember I have sorted the array to get the minimum and the maximum at the extremes. Okay, at the extremes I have just sorted it at first. Okay, so before getting an array, just sort it. Okay, so you get an array like this. Okay, I'll just clear some of this to make it clear. Okay. So my first pointer would point like this. Basically, it is the first operation that I'm performing, and this is the second operation. Okay, and what is my priority? To maximize my sum. So as I have my power right now, what I'll do? I'll try to decrease it. But how can I decrease it? I'll just check. If my element is less than my power, I can reduce it. If my element is less than my power, I can reduce it. Basically, if the project file is under the scope of my project, I can submit it. So this is my project file, and it is under my scope, so I can just submit it. Okay, so I'll reduce my power by 100. My power becomes 100. Okay, and my score becomes 1. As I have submitted a project file, my reputation is increased. Okay, but as I have submitted, I cannot use it again. Okay, and my first pointer comes to the second position. My first pointer comes to the second position. Why? I have already shown the least project file, like the basic project file. I have already shown it. Now I have to increase my level. Okay, my power is currently 100. So is the 200 file in my scope? No, 200 is not in my scope, right? Not in my scope. This number is less than my power. So first operation becomes out of sight. Okay, I'll choose the second operation. And what I'll choose for second operation? Yes, I'll choose the maximum. And what is my maximum? This number. Okay, but remember, whenever you increase your power, your score comes down. Okay, so if I increase my power was currently 100. I'll increase my power, 100 plus 400, my power becomes 500. Okay, but my score at the same time becomes 0. But remember, just store it in a max element so that you know that this score was achieved at some time. This is the maximum score achieved at some time. Okay, so your score is currently 0. Remember, you have to throw it away. You cannot use it again. You'll just throw it. Okay, okay, and I'll decrease my second pointer value. Now my second pointer is right here, my first pointer is right here, and I have my power. When I have my power, I'll simply try to reduce it. I'll try to submit the project files, right, to gain reputation. So if I can submit this file, I can just submit it. I'll just cross it and submit it. So my power would reduce. My power would be reduced by 200. So my power would now become 300, and my score would become 1. If I submit a project file, my reputation increases. Okay, but I cannot submit this file again. My first pointer increases. Now my second and the first pointer are at the same position. Okay, so if I can reduce this, I will reduce. If I cannot reduce this, I'll just simply add it to my power, reduce my sum, because reduce my reputation, because I'm already showing the maximum sum. I'm already storing the maximum reputation that I got. Okay, so I can easily show it on my LinkedIn, right? That this is what I got at some time. Okay, this is what I achieved at some time. Okay, but as I have my power, I'll simply reduce it. My power becomes 0. My reputation would increase. Basically, the amount of hard work you do, your reputation would increase. Okay, so my sum becomes 2. My maximum now contains a value of 2. Okay, so as all the elements, now my first would be like pointing here, but this is the end condition. Whenever your first becomes greater than s, second pointer, whenever your first pointer crosses the second pointer, okay, you just stop and you return this max value. Okay, clear? This was the question. See what I told you. Okay, Just one doubt I have, how will I just mark this? How will I mark this that I've used it? How will I mark that I've used it? Okay, basically, just mark it with -1. Mark all the elements that you have visited with -1. Why -1? Because if you see the constraints, all the elements are gonna be positive. All the elements are gonna be positive. So if your any element is gonna be -1, if any of your element is gonna be -1, okay, that means you have visited. Basically marking as a flag. Okay, this is done just for your understanding. Just for your understanding that we have just cross this point, and I'm never gonna cross it again. I'm never gonna come back to it again. Okay, basically we are just moving. We're just moving. So at any point, it would not be repeated because I am not moving back. I'm not moving back. Okay, if I try to write the code for this, coming to the code finally. Okay, I'll first sort the array. Tokens.end. Okay, this is how I sort. I am storing the maximum size, maximum score. I am storing the score, current score. I'll store the start pointer to be 0, end pointer to be tokens.size -1. Okay. What is my ending condition? That my start should be less than equal to end. Okay, start should be less than equal to end. Basically, if start crosses end, just stop. Okay, what is my condition? That if my nums of start is less than equal to power, and nums of start not equal to -1. Okay, then just increase my score, reduce my power, and increase my pointer. Okay, basically what I am doing is that the first operation, this is the first operation. Basically, if I am traversing from here, if this is 1 2 3 4, traversing to here, if this is not marked as -1, and if this is not marked as -1, this is my first condition, and it is less than equal to my power, that is I can reduce this. I will reduce it and increase my repetition. If I have a file that I can submit easily, I'll just submit it and increase my repetition, right? I have to gain promotion, right? Okay, so this is the first condition that I'm specifying. What is my second condition? Else if nums of end or okay, what is my second condition? What was my second condition? If your current score is at least 1, you may play a token. Okay, so if else in this case, if my score is greater than 0, and nums of end is not marked, basically this, if nums of end is not marked, that is I have not already visited this, and I have some score, that is I can reduce it. Okay, so my power would be increased, my score would be reduced, okay, and one more thing. What one more thing? Okay, what one more thing? I have to mark this element as -1 as visited. Okay, in this case also I have to mark this as visited. Okay, and I'll decrease my count. I'll decrease my end pointer. In this case I have increased my end pointer. In this case I have decreased my end pointer. Also at each case my mx value is updated by what? Max of score comma mx. And what I'll try to return at the last? Mx. Okay. I have done this mistake again. I have written nums. I have this weird habit of writing nums at every place. Okay, so I try to run it. What is okay, I'll try to run it. Okay, so this is the error I am getting. Let us try to solve. Okay, I'll just try to solve it with you. I'll just try to solve it with you. Yes, tokens of start, I'll just do it, okay, and I'll try to run it. Basically what I was doing is I was just increasing my start at the first, and then I was just marking it as -1, okay, marking it as -1. So basically if I am at this point, I am at this point, I was marking this as -1 initially. At this position only I was marking this as -1. So this was skipped. This was the error I was getting. So submitted, as you can see, just see, beats 100% of users at C++. So. This was the overall question. This was the overall question, okay. What I did, I just specified the condition. I am just specifying this is the first condition that I'm getting. This is the second condition that I'm getting, and I'm increasing my score. I just wrote the conditions, nothing else. If you try to read the code by yourself, you will eventually get what I need to say. What is mentioned in the question, you will eventually get it. Okay. Basically, first sorting it. If I try to summarize, what just sorting it, performing the switching between the first operation and the last operation, basically using the 2 pointers. First, one is for first operation, one is for second operation, and increasing or decreasing the values according to the given operation. Okay, and increasing it till that they collide and cross each other. When they cross each other, this would be the stopping point. Okay, I'm using this 2 pointer approach in this question. What would be the time complexity? Okay, so sorting, I'm sorting the array at first place. So sorting takes n log n. Okay, and I'm traversing like from the start and then from the end. So n, okay, so n log n plus n becomes my time complexity. What is my space complexity? I'm not using any extra space, right? I'm not using any extra space. So my space complexity becomes O of 1. Space complexity becomes O of 1. So this was the solution to the question, bags of tokens. Okay, I hope you guys liked it. If you have any doubts regarding this question, just ping it out in the comments. I know this video is long, but I have shared the exact intuition of how this question is solved. Okay, if you want that I make uh, less duration videos, you will not be able to get it right. In this video, if you try to see it fully, you will try to get the whole concept behind it. Okay, so you have to give your time. Okay, you have to give your time to understand and develop your thinking. If you're just looking for the solution, you can watch it anywhere. Okay, but I have tried to explain in depth what is actually happening. What is actually happening? Okay, so ending the video here. If you have any doubts, you can just comment in the comment section. And if you like the video, just choose share, like, and subscribe. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.